Hello. The last couple videos that I've sent out, I focused on the Eucharist and the Mass. But I'd like to build upon that and focus on something we hear at the end of every Mass. We hear the words, "Go forth," or "Go and live the gospel through your life." But there's always that word, "Go." When we celebrate the Mass and give thanks to God for all that He's given us, we are given a command at the end to go forth. What does it mean to go forth? In the 1500s, there were two young men that were going to college. Their names were Peter and Francis. And they were roommates at college, and neither one for sure knew what they wanted to do. Francis was from a family that had nobility, and so he was thinking of just living a posh life through his nobility. Peter, he was a little more discerning, but still didn't know. There were times where he wanted to become a lawyer, then a teacher, then a physician. At times he thought about getting married and having a family. And then other times he thought about just being a simple priest or a monk. The two of them would talk about their lives and share those things with each other as they went through school. But then both of their lives got somewhat upended, if you will. You see, they got a third roommate at college. This young man, his name was Ignatius. And Ignatius was 36 years old when he came. So he was a little bit older than Francis and Peter. And he had been bedridden for many months because he was a soldier, and his left leg got hit by a cannon. And so from injury, he was recuperating. But here he was back at school, and he was on fire for Jesus. He was on fire for the faith. And the reason for that was as he was recovering from his injury from the cannonball, he had two books that he could read, the Bible and a book on the lives of the saints. And he started sharing about both with Francis and Peter. Peter got very excited, and soon a conversion took place in Peter's own life, in his heart and mind, and he was on fire for his Catholic faith. And he too, like Ignatius, wanted to become a saint. He wanted to serve the church and serve Jesus Christ. Francis was much more hesitant, but Ignatius never gave up. In fact, Ignatius poured in to Francis by just sharing life with him for the next 3 years. In fact, the way Ignatius did that is he tried to be a part and go to or attend anything that was going on in Francis's life. If he was giving a lecture or was involved in some activity, Ignatius was there to support him. Francis was a good teacher, and so Ignatius even brought other college students to Francis to be tutored. Any way that Ignatius could be involved and be with Francis and pour into his life and share the faith. Peter was gone for a few weeks at one point, and when he came back, suddenly he saw a changed Francis. There's a passage from Mark's Gospel. I'm just going to paraphrase, but what good is it to build up all the riches in this life and lose one's soul in the next? Francis had a conversion, and he too was now on fire for Jesus and for his church. And those three together founded a religious order called the Society of Jesus. You know them as the Jesuits, St. Ignatius of Loyola, St. Peter Faber, and St. Francis Xavier. All of them had an incredible impact on the church. In fact, St. Francis Xavier was eventually sent to India as a missionary priest. It is estimated he baptized hundreds of thousands and brought them into the faith, brought them into the church. These are three individuals that listened to that simple command, that simple responsibility, but so important of a responsibility at the end of Mass. Go forth. Go forth and share the good news. Go forth and bring people to Jesus. Bring Jesus to people. Go forth and share the gospel. Help people come and encounter Jesus and his good news. Help people come to the gift of salvation. Amen.